Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm taking this call on behalf of EC to support the motion moved by Joseph Mooney, which is that this House disallow the following provisions of the Professional Examinations in Law Regulations 2008. A, Regulation 1.3, definition of Tikanga Maori requirements, paragraph A, and B, Regulation 31.1 AII. Mr. Speaker, before I talk about the background and also our reasons for supporting this motion and also what ACT believes in, I just want to say to the member, those who just spoke before, that Regulations Review Committee is not government. There's a difference between government and Regulations Review Committee. That is a decision made by majority by the Regulations Review Committee. And if there is no consensus, that is how we operate. And it's better that the member learns that. Mr. Speaker, what we would say is that we support this motion, but ACT Party would like to go further than this. That is to disallow all of the provisions of the Professional Examinations in Law Regulations 2008 introduced by the Professional Examination in Law Tikanga Maori Requirements Amendment Regulations 2022. So, Mr. Speaker, we don't have representation, the ACT Party doesn't have representation on the Regulations Review Committee, but I have been very closely, and my colleagues, the ACT Party colleagues, have been very closely watching the progress of this item on the agenda of Regulations Review Committee. And now, Mr. Speaker, coming to the background, so I want to commend Gary Judd Casey for raising this very, of course, yes, I will. Gary Judd Casey for raising this very important issue and bringing this issue to the attention of Regulations Review Committee. And I also want to commend all the members on the Regulations Review Committee for working on this. This was in April 2024 when the Regulations Review Committee received a complaint about the Professional Examinations in Law Tikanga Maori Requirements Amendment Regulations 2022. The amendment regulations were made under Section 278 of the Lawyers and Conveyancers Act 2006, and it amended provisions of the Professional Examinations in Law Regulations 2008. And we note, Mr. Speaker, that the amendment regulations were made on 5th May 2023, but had a commencement date of 1st January 2025. So the case that was made by the complainant was that the amendment regulations are not made in accordance with the Act's intention because they extend beyond legal work and the provision of legal service. And he stated that Tikanga is not law and that the amendment regulations are an unusual or unexpected use of the powers conferred by the Act because, in his view, they are unprecedented. And Mr. Speaker, the members of the committee would have heard his submission, and members, those who were not on the committee, like I was not on the committee, I would say that if you listen to the reasoning that Gary Judd Casey made, then it makes sense that why Tikanga should not be a part of this law degree. And I would like to quote a bit of his submission. This is a very, very small section from his submission that I would like to read out so that members can see why it makes sense to completely disallow these provisions. So this section is, I'm reading this from the submission. Introducing Tikanga is also contrary to the rule of law. Laws must be publicly promulgated, clear, accessible, and generally applicable to all persons. They must be prospective, stable, and applied consistently and impartially by officials and the judiciary. Tikanga does not satisfy any of these requirements. So these were the reasons made by Gary Judd Casey, and that is how the process works. Mr. Lawrence Yuran, that is how the process works. So the complaint came to the Regulations Review Committee, and Regulations Review Committee looked into this issue, and that is the conclusion the Regulations Review Committee came up with. But what we are saying is that we would like to go further, as I have said before, because we, Mr. Speaker, believe that our legal education shapes the future of our legal system. And we want to see that our lawyers have that impartial view towards our justice system. And by mixing legal aspects with culture, there is a risk that we will be undermining legal objectivity that is needed in legal principles. It's not rubbish. Mr. Speaker, I would also say this, that for legal profession, it's very important they uphold the values of justice, fairness, and accountability. And when you bring culture into it, it becomes very challenging to be impartial, because, Mr. Speaker, that brings it subjective interpretation. It brings subjective interpretation, and we do not want that kind of subjective interpretation in our legal system. Mr. Speaker, in this Parliament, for example, we make laws. We don't create cultural beliefs. We do not create cultural practices. We make laws here. So there is a clear difference between cultural beliefs and legal applications. There is a clear difference between cultural practices and laws that we make. We cannot mix two things, Mr. Speaker, because what we want to see is that our legal system sees everybody in a way they should, exactly the same, irrespective of their culture, irrespective of their ethnicity. The justice system should serve all individuals, irrespective of their culture, irrespective of their ethnicities. Yes, and I know some members have problem with that, but that is what we believe in. It's very important that people have trust in our legal system, and people will not have trust in our legal system if our legal system start judging people on the basis of
just for those members with that continual commentary. The good thing about this debate is everyone has the opportunity to stand up and take a call. I'm having difficulty hearing this member. Also, that includes conversations on my left here. So carry on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So we also are aware that, Mr. Speaker, this is an issue that has not only come from one complainant, but there was a submission as well supporting this complaint. And also there are other correspondences that we have received from a number of people, those who are concerned about this issue. So I actually think that it's really good that someone has come forward and put this complaint to the Regulations Review Committee, because we receive so much correspondence about so many different issues, but we don't see people coming to this level to a select committee to put their concern forward so that a select committee can examine that concern. So in this situation, this concern has been examined, and by majority, motion has been moved. And as I said, we support the motion, but we would like to go further in this case, and I have explained what we mean by that, Mr. Speaker. And here I want to say this, that it's very important that we maintain the integrity of our legal system. And by mixing cultures, we will be risking the integrity of our legal system. And also, Mr. Speaker, it's not about one culture. We are saying that no culture should be mixed. No culture should be mixed. And cultures evolve. Cultures evolve, Mr. Speaker. Cultures are not consistent. So our legal practice should be based on the laws that we have in our country, not on the basis of the cultures and the cultures that evolve and how we are becoming multicultural. It shouldn't be on that basis, Mr. Speaker. So that's why, Mr. Speaker, it's very important we keep cultures separate from our legal system. And to those members there, I would suggest this to those members there, that by keeping Tikanga Maori separate, by keeping it distinct, actually, you will be giving it better significance. By mixing it, you're diluting the significance of Tikanga Maori, and also compromising the integrity of the legal system. So, Mr. Speaker, we are very keen to preserve the integrity of the legal system, and that is why we support this motion. And I again repeat that we would have liked to go further to disallow all of the provisions of the Professional Examinations in Law Regulations 2008, introduced by the Professional Examination in Law, Tikanga Maori Requirements Amendment Regulations 2022. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.